Hey guys, so now I just want to say something. I want to say, for example, this is what presence is. Okay, presence is something that you are felt in the moment. Okay, so you're doing something in the moment. You're either with people, you're in the present moment, you're with yourself, okay, and you're expanding your comfort zone. So now the important thing to say and to realize is, for example, myself, when when I see an attractive woman, okay, when I see an attractive woman, I used to get anxiety. I used to get so much anxiety around someone who's so beautiful and gorgeous. Like she's like a super freak, sexy nature or whatever it is, And I used to get so much anxiety to even approach her. So I found a solution now that is actually going to work. You understand? And you have to realize that the solution is that all I need to do, or all you need to do around people who are so attractive that they seem out of your league and everything, is to maintain boundaries in a way that you approach as further as you can in terms of you approach her or you approach him as close as possible. And you maintain that stance. Whether it be standing a meter from them, standing 2 meters from them, standing 3 meters from them. And what this builds is basically a presence within that space. That she's there, and it's like you want to make it feel natural that you're going to approach her or that you're going to approach him. So for example, I see a woman, okay, she's so gorgeous. She glances my way, I make some eye contact or whatever. She's sitting down. She's talking with friends, okay? And I'm here sitting down where I am. And she's like 10 meters away from me. So what's the most natural thing that I can do to make a conversation with this lady? Okay, because she's with her friends. And basically because she's with her friends, it's even more intimidating because now there are five to 10 women with her, and you want to go and approach her to talk to her. So of course, for a lot of guys, this feels very intimidating because they feel they have to perform in order to get her. You understand? But what you would realize in this situation is all you need to do is look around, see, is there a spot that you can sit right next to her? It doesn't have to be touching her. It doesn't have to be 1 meter from her, but move a step closer to her. Okay? So, for example, I'm sitting here, but there's a seat over there. There's a seat over there somewhere that's a little bit closer to her. Okay? So, what I'll do is I'll stand up and I'll move to the next spot. Okay? But it's a little bit closer, like 2 meters closer to her. Okay? So now, let's say I move, I sit with her there. I sit right next to that place where I want to sit. But I'm a little bit closer to her. Okay? Now I'm eyeing the situation. I see she's still there talking with her friends. But now, since I made a little closer step toward her, I made a little confident move to move closer to her. That reinforces to me that I'm a little bit more confident moving a little bit closer to her. Do you understand? That reinforces my capability here, okay? That I can step out of my comfort zone, move to a new area that's going to be closer to her. And now, she's probably now 5 meters away from me instead of 10 meters. But I'm a little bit closer to her now. And now, what do I do now? All I do now is I try to expand my comfort zone, okay? So I try to expand my comfort zone by looking around. I look around and I can go and say something like for myself to maybe move a little bit closer to her. You know, because that's what you need to be doing. You need to be moving a little bit closer to her each time, or to him, okay? So I moved 5 meters closer. Now, is there a possibility for me to move 1 meter closer to her? 1 meter closer to her. So I look at the area, and there's a seat right next to her that is like 3 meters away. Okay? So does it look comfortable for me to move 3 meters to get closer to her, to be 2 meters away from her? Okay, so for example, I'll look at the situation. I'm like 3 meters from that spot. Can I move 3 meters closer to her? So for example, this is me looking to see, can I expand my comfort zone? Okay, and can I maintain my presence, and can I be with my presence closer to her? So in this case, I'd be trying to get closer to her. So what I'll do is I'd try to at least push my comfort zone, okay, push my comfort zone to step a little bit closer to her. So I'll move at least 2-3 meters closer to her, and I'll sit over there. But let's say I'm facing the other way now, and she's just right behind me. But we're in the same presence, okay? So she's just right behind me, but I'm looking the other way. So what could I do now? What could I do now in this situation to basically feel more confident about myself? So basically, I already said to myself, I moved a little bit closer to her the first time. I moved a little bit closer to her the second time. So this reaffirms to me that, hey, I can be around an attractive woman. I can be around an attractive woman, okay? And I made 2 little steps forward that I could at least be closer to her, even though I don't talk to her, okay? And what does this show? This shows curiosity, okay? This basically shows that I've expanded my comfort zone twice within the space of how much time there is, or how much time I've done it in, okay? So for example, now I'm facing the other way or something like that. Now maybe 2-3 friends of hers leaves, but she's with a friend of hers now. Okay, it's just her and a friend. So now it feels like that the light of the load has become less, okay? Which means that it feels much more less uncomfortable now for me to talk to her, basically, because I've moved closer to her. And because I moved closer to her, I feel now that since time has gone by, I'm sensing how I feel. That basically, because of this situation where I feel, okay, I'm a little confident at this stage, that I moved a bit closer to her, and I'm feeling that the anxiety has been dissipating. So what can I do next in order for me to approach her even closer? Like, what's the next step? So maybe the next step is just look for a way that I can turn around and just face her, but maybe not look directly at her eyes. Don't look directly at her eyes. Maybe look for a way that you can turn around to face the 2 people that are talking together. In terms of the girls, they're talking to each other, but look to be 1 meter away from them, and look to basically turn around and just be there with yourself, basically sitting down and just around them, just basically facing them, and basically just being there in the presence at first. You know, and at this stage they might leave. But let's say they do leave. Then at least you know that you made all the attempts you could to approach her eventually, to talk to her, okay? So let's say they're still there. Okay? So now you're there. These girls are probably now looking at you, They're probably now looking at you. They're probably signaling to you that you can talk to them and stuff. You know, and you just have to feel natural at this point. And then you get the sudden ha-ha moment, and you just say, hey, what's your name? Or you just say, hey, or whatever it is. You say whatever it is that's on your mind, okay? You basically say hello to them. And basically now, they'll say hi back or whatever it is. And at this point, when you say hello to her, you're basically feeling much more confident about yourself that you can be around a beautiful woman. Okay? And now, at least this time you said hello to her, okay? Which means you moved the first time closer to her, the second time closer to her, the third time you moved around to face her, and the fourth time you said hello to her. Okay? Do you know what this is? This is a confidence boost. This means that the more you do this kind of stuff around women or men, where you are edging closer to them, to make it feel natural, okay, to make it feel natural that you want a conversation with them and that you want to talk to them and that you want to basically help yourself to get to know them, okay? And basically, the more you do this around women or men, at nightclubs or in pools or wherever you go, wherever you're around people, the more you edge closer and closer and closer to them, the more you'll be able to say hello to them. So make sure that in your conversation starters, that you always say hello. That's the best conversation starter. Say hello. Then they're going to say hello back and say, what is your name? And then just talk and talk. Okay? Slowly, one step at a time. And now, eventually, for example, you could be generous. You could offer them a drink. Would you ladies want a drink? Okay? Because when you're a guy and you got ladies around you, you want to be giving them a drink. You want to be giving them a drink. You go get them a drink. You come back. This is for you. This is for you. Whatever it is, you sit with them and you talk about something, okay? And then just be in the present sometimes. You don't always have to be talking, okay? Sometimes when their friends are talking, okay, when she's talking to her friend or her friend's talking to her about something, and you can say something like, what's this about? You can get yourself involved in the conversation. And then, for example, what can happen is, let's say whatever happens, okay, she has to go now because eventually she has to go, okay? What can happen is, at this point, you know, you've had a conversation with her. You can say something like, okay, well, can I get your number? Or can I get your number? Can I get your number? Ask for a number, okay? Do you mind if I see you again? Or can we hang out sometime? Or whatever it is. Just before she goes, okay? Because she's about to go anyway. She might as well give you her number before she goes, okay? But if you never ask for the number, she'll never give you the number. Understand? So you have to realize that in today's world, you have to ask a girl for a number if you want to see her. So if you're genuinely interested in her, it's only natural to ask for her number to show your interest in her, okay? Because that's the whole point of being present for someone else. And that's the whole point of being present, is to show curiosity for the other person. That's why you've been moving closer and closer and closer to her, because you want to eventually say hello, so that you want to eventually have a conversation with her, so you can buy her a drink, and so that then you can go ahead, talk to her a little bit more before she has to go. And once she goes, before she goes, ask for a number and say, can you see her again? And then from this point on, you know, let's say some ladies will actually give you some ladies will give you their number, but some ladies may say, no, I have a boyfriend, whatever it is, okay? So as soon as the girl says, I have a boyfriend, say, no worries. Thank you very much. It was nice talking to you. And that's it. You move on. And now when she goes, whether she gave you her number or not, okay, you at least tried. You showed some curiosity. You showed some curiosity. You showed some manhood, okay, to approach a woman and to show curiosity about a woman, okay? And then from this point, it's like, from this point, you look at the next person. You look at the next person that you can talk to. It doesn't always have to be a woman. It can be a man. Like if you're a girl, it doesn't always have to be a guy. It can be a woman next to you. It can be someone next to you that you can approach, okay? So then like you would walk around not just to listen to the music, but look for signs, look for natural movement in people. Look for someone that is basically, for example, looking to basically talk to you, okay? So let's say you get a girl's number on the night or whatever. The next option for you is to go get another number. Go get 10 numbers of girls on one night. You understand? Because that's what a player does. Okay, that's what a player does. Okay, you don't want to rely on a single income. You don't want to rely on a single woman. You don't want to rely on a single person. Okay, you don't want to rely on a single apartment that you are renting out to others. Okay, what you want to rely on is 100 numbers instead of one number. Okay, you want to rely on 100 apartments of yours instead of just one apartment. You understand? So, for example, because in real estate, okay, when you have only one apartment, the tenant can leave the apartment and then you're left with no tenants. But when you have 100 units and you have 100 apartments, let's say 10% of the tenants, they leave, you still got 90% of people living in your real estate, which means you're still getting cash flow. So that's why when you're going and meeting new people, especially when you've gotten their number and everything, then you have to also follow up. And then you also have to go see them again. And then you also have to go ahead and tell them about your life, tell them about your current situation, tell them and be truthful about where you are with your current situation. Don't be ashamed of who you are. Don't be ashamed that you're on a disability support pension. Don't be ashamed that you are not working. Don't be ashamed that you don't have a lot of money. Don't be ashamed about your weight. Don't be ashamed about anything of your life, okay? Don't be ashamed that you watch porn, okay? Just don't be ashamed, okay? And also don't think about what other people are thinking of you, because they're not thinking anything about you. They're thinking nothing about you, okay? So you have to get to the stage in your life where you're going night clubbing, you're going and you're basically urging yourself to be curious by being present, okay? And now you're, say, alone here, you're sitting down and there's couples over there, there's people over there, there's friends over here, there's over here, okay? And you're looking for a sign to say, hey, where can you move closer to someone that you may feel interested about, who you may feel interested to talk to? You understand? It could be someone dressed nicely. It could be someone alone over there, or whatever it is. Wherever you go, you have to expand your comfort zone and you have to also move closer to the person in order to be curious about them. Okay, the closer you move toward them, the more natural the conversation is going to be. Okay, so let's say you see a very sexy, beautiful woman, okay, and you're a man, okay, you want to eventually get closer and closer and closer to her, okay, regardless of the other men that are closer to her or whatever, and you want to eventually just get closer and closer and closer to say hello, okay, say hello, and introduce yourself to her, introduce yourself to the group, introduce yourself to people, and then just be there. You don't have to always be talking, okay? So basically, when you have a group of friends over there, ladies over here, a girl over there, or whatever it is, suss it out. See, who do you want to approach next? But it's not so much about approaching. It's so much so about just getting closer and closer and closer to them. Okay, just moving from your spot somewhere a little bit closer to them. Slowly closer to them, slowly closer to them. And eventually when you're 1 meter away from them, then you just have a little pause each time you move closer to them. Each time you move closer to a person, feel what you're feeling, okay? Feel and talk to yourself. Can you move a little bit closer to them? Can you move a little bit closer to them? And then once you're there, right next to them, and now you just stay there. Stay with the feeling. Stay with the feeling. She may be a very beautiful woman. She may be sexy. She may be with 10 friends of hers or whatever it is. And then you just feel the moment. Feel what you're going through. Expand your comfort zone like that, okay? But be with them. Be with the feeling. And then eventually, when you finally get very confident in yourself, just turn around and say, hello, how are you? And then you just start a conversation, okay? So make sure that it's not awkward. Make sure that it's basically something that makes you basically confident at the right time to say hello, and that it's natural and everything, because you're going to be the one who's pursuing them. You're going to be the one who's moving closer to them, okay? Because that's what it is. Sometimes someone can approach you and ask you a question or something like that, but you have to be showing curiosity for other people. You have to be showing that you're curious about them. You want a girlfriend, you have to show curiosity about her. You want a friend in your life, you have to show curiosity about them. Okay, you have to show that you're curious about the person. Yeah, you have to ask them questions. You have to ask them things. And now, let's say you don't have a lot of friends in your life or whatever it is. Make sure that you go in the world, okay, and move closer to people. Move closer and closer to people, okay? And practice that. So where can you find people? You can find them at the kebab shop. You can find them anywhere in life, okay? And all you have to do is pick a place that you want to go to make friends. So you can go to a nightclub, you can go to the festival, you can go meetup programs, you can go Toastmasters, you can go poker, you can go wherever you want to go around the world where there are people, and all you do is move closer and closer to them. It doesn't always have to be a woman. It doesn't always have to be a man, okay? And all you do is just move closer and closer to them, eventually to the point where it feels natural to start a conversation with them. Do you understand? And then whether it's a man or a woman, ask for their number. Let's chill sometime. And whatever it is. And then you got a friend that you can chill with, and that friend can hook you up with ladies. That friend can hook you up with other people, you know. So then you can be in a group with people, and you can be in a group dynamic and everything, and add value and everything. Yeah, that's how you move into having friends, by slowly moving into the world, going night clubbing, going places, being out and about, being around people, being alone, whatever it is, by moving closer to people and saying hello and starting a conversation eventually, yeah. And then eventually from that point on, you get their number, and then you follow up with them. And then you have to stay curious about them a lot in life, and you have to start really talking to them so that you can maintain a friendship and so that you have something to work with, okay? So that's all for this program. I hope that you guys have enjoyed, and see you guys in the next program.